but the world record
Mm.
changes, so like there has to be adjustments. In fact, there was a time I have to. I
You
have,
told me the stat last night. There was a year that a guy won the Olympics, and
so basically, Roman Sebriel of the Czech Republic. Um, no, sorry, my bad. Daley Thompson. He missed breaking the
the world
world record
record
by
by
one
1 point,
point, but when they redid
the
the
point system.
system, he ended up breaking the world record retroactively. Very interesting. Basically, the points work. If you guys don't know how the points work in general, the faster you run or the farther you throw or jump, the
The
more
more
points you're
points
going
you
to
get.
get added up at the end. And whoever has the most points wins. But we were just trying to figure out like how they determine like this time is worth this many points, this mark is worth that many points. But
Our first guest is ready. Uh, I'll talk him up while we bring him up on the screen.
I've met a lot of like the people I grew up watching, and so like I'm cool. Jeremy Warner is one of those people who I was obsessed with and still have not met. So I may
uh,
not act right.
please act right.
I'm gonna embarrass you in front of your friend.
Yes,
My
Jeremy is one
heart's
of
going.
my great friends, one of my mentors. He is, gosh, where do I begin? Where do I begin?
He's
He's
here.
the 2004 gold medalist in the 400 and 4x4. Might I add, that was also after a long collegiate season at Baylor, where he was also the NCAA champ. 2008 silver medalist in the 400, gold medalist in the 4x4. World champs 2005, 2007. 2007 was a sweep, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and Berlin, World
Right.
Relays, on and on and on. Good morning, Jay.
Morning.
Just one stat about him before we start.
Uh,
He has the fourth fastest 400 meter of all time, and
Ever.
only Wade Van Niekerk, Michael Johnson, and Butch Reynolds has ran faster than you.
And then Michael Norman is tied with me.
See, student of the sport. Just, yeah. Yeah. And MJ was one of your mentors and still probably still to this day one of your mentors as well, right?
Still is. I've been texting back and forth with him these last couple of days during the
That's
Olympics.
what I
So
was that's
and
one of the top, not what y'all talking about, but I'm sure it's the same thing we're talking about, the meat. But
yeah, definitely.
we're gonna get into it. So where are you coming in from, Jay?
Where?
Yeah, you
At
Yeah,
home.
okay, because there was some mix-ups. Like Jay, he was like, I think I could do it, but my kid has JOs, and this one has a baseball game, and Jay is now a busy coach slash dad. I love to celebrate the person.
Yeah. I was actually supposed to be in Houston for AAU JO, but since my son's baseball trials got moved, and also I got a meeting at my school, I had to end up staying at home and was able to get on here with y'all.
Well, we thank you. We appreciate you joining Track Girls.
Thanks for having me.
So, where do I begin? Where do I begin? Well, how do you feel about the meet so far? We've been texting. I've been seeing your tweets. There's talks about like, is USA showing up? And I think for me, I'm kind of like in retrospect now, like, I do think that the relays will be heavily affected by Team USA not hosting a camp. But, we saw some that we thought would perform big that didn't necessarily perform the way we expected, but we're still seeing some big performances. So do you think, how do you feel
Yeah,
Team USA is faring so far?
I think we're doing fine. I don't know. I know there was a lot of expectations for us coming into this meet,
Mhm.
but I just think the rest of the world is catching up to us, like overall wise, as you've seen in the sprint. Um, there's been some shocks with Trayvon not running as well as I thought he was going to do. Um, and then obviously Fred Curley getting up there, dropping down and getting a silver medal. And then just a second ago with in the 200, a lot of people thought Noah was going to be able to pull it off, but DeGrasse finally got his gold medal, and Kenny got up there and got his second. So there's been some good performances, obviously, and they're amazing performances with both 400 hurdles, which we expected was going to happen in those two events. Um, so I think it's just everyone's catching up to us, and it could be some of it the acclimation, not being able to get over there early like normal. Um, but it's still an amazing meet so far.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So for years, you and LaShawn had like this little rivalry. Let me not
Hmm.
little, but big rivalry. And I think a lot of us were excited to watch. And speaking of like the rest of the world catching up and just kind of having, we just have to be ready to show up, basically.
Hmm.
Mean, tell us a little bit about how you dealt with being the man with the target on his back, dealing with the rivalry, and how you maintained your focus to show up and perform when it counted.
I love the competition. I never backed away from it. No matter who they threw in the meet and the race for me, I was up for it, and I ran my best when the best were in the meet. So I always wanted the competition. I never wanted to go in there and say, "Oh, I don't want so and so in this meet this week," or "I'm not going here because someone's here." That's not who I was, and I I I want if I win, I want to win against the best. If I lose, I want to lose against the best. I don't want to just go up there and just go through the motions because once you get to the games, if you haven't raced anybody all year because you've been either picking and choosing who you run against, when you get to the games, you don't have that choice. You have to run, and mentally, you got to prepare yourself for
I have a question.
Sure.
Sorry. I feel like
that.
I'm trying to be very respectful right now. I'm very happy. Um, what was your race strategy? What was your race plan going into a big race? I know
uh,
100.
each round is obviously different. My first round, we always worked on our first 200 to 250, and then kind of looked around to see where everybody was at and see what I could have, if I could slow down, if I could relax a little bit, if I need to push a little bit harder. And then the semifinals, we always worked on our first three, and then we would obviously from there we would look to see where we're at if we need to keep working at least the 350, and then kind of gauge what we need to do. Our goal was to win each round, win our heat, and to guarantee a preferred lane. And then obviously the final round is it's to execute 100% and run your race and not worry about where other people are in their lanes if they're in front of you or behind you. So I always took each round one round at a time. Coach Hart did an amazing job training me to understand time in the race. I could always tell you exactly what my splits were when I got off the track. I would always Coach Hart would ask me what I thought it was. I'd tell him, and then I'd probably be right around like point one, maybe point two off of what my actual time was.
He ain't,
Gems, gems, gems,
he ain't
gems.
lying. He ain't lying. So speaking of
Have that much
which,
awareness, like in
yeah,
a race, is crazy.
we're gonna go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So we're gonna predict the men's 400 later on in the segment, but I want to
Okay.
talk to you about how you feel about the women's rounds in the 400 because 50 point didn't make the final. Like
I know.
it, it's track. The overall performances that we're seeing is just mind blowing. I mean,
Yeah.
45 in the 400 hurdles, 51 in the 400 hurdles. I was making the joke that like Sydney equaled my season's best in the flat 400 this year. Okay, like we
Sydney
are
would have made. She would have made semifinals in the Open with
like
that time.
Sydney. We're seeing track move, and we go through generations where we see like
Hmm.
how fast are people really going to get? Are we really? I don't think anybody imagined seeing a 51 400 hurdle, a 40 45.
Yeah.
You're running fast times and you're not even getting a medal. 50 points
Hmm.
make the 400 final. What do you think we're going to see in the women's 400 final?
I don't know. I just got done watching the replay of the semis. Shawnee looked real smooth, real easy. We know Allison's going to show up and give it her all.
Did you hear
it,
Corey say don't say anything against Allison?
huh?
Did you hear Corey say don't say anything against Allison?
No, not to hear that.
I just throw it. It's not a threat. It's a promise. I will fight you over Allison. That's just that. But like, say
Yeah.
with Jeremy, he was talking right though, so we good. We here.
Good. I don't want to step on anyone's toes. Uh, but I mean, the women's four is wide open. It's going to be tough to decide who wins and who medals. I think they'll go sub 49. It's possible with the way things have been going, especially in the one lap races. There's going to be a sub 49, and there could be two.
Yeah, the only reason why I'm hesitant about the final is we didn't even get to Jody Williams in our recap earlier, but Jody
Hmm.
Williams also ran a big PB. She's been PBing throughout the meet, and she just started running the 400 this year. But with seeing so many PBs in the semifinal, I do wonder how fast the final is going to be. But there are
That's true.
Shawnee has 48s in. She's a 48 runner. She's not running.
Hmm.
She's run it a couple of times.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a hard one for us to predict because I don't know, but just seeing where the sport is moving and how fast it's getting, it's exciting to watch. And I was just saying, like, there's a part of me that wants to get back out there, but there's a part of me that's enjoying this couch
No.
because
Yeah, I'm enjoying watching from the TV. I'd rather be there to watch, but
right,
I don't want to step on the line with them anymore.
that is just some serious fire out there. It's insane. Um, so let's have a little bit of fun. Um,
All right.
Good time. Good time.
Yeah,
Good 15 minutes
okay,
before
I
Grant
haven't
Ferries.
heard from him. So please make it out. We'll just start the predictions without him.
Okay, you gonna leave me without my part? All right.
Um, flag football.
Mhm.
What? Talk to me. I mean, I know you're a big football fan, but like, talk to us about like how that came about. What's going on with that?
That was just a one-time thing. It kind of got thrown in my lap. MJ was the captain of the team, and he was needing a couple extra players. So he reached out to me, and obviously playing football in high school and enjoying watching it, just getting the opportunity to play with some former NFL players. I wasn't gonna turn that down. Um, so I had a great experience. Unfortunately, I got hurt uh, during the during that, and I wasn't really able to play much because of that. But still enjoyed my time and had a blast with it.
Who did you play with?
I played with Team Godspeed, so Forsett. Uh,
Is
he was our team our other team captain.
okay, okay. Ay, ay, ay. I'm having a brain fart.
Well, I have questions.
Oh Lord, here she go.
Well, one, what do what do you think about Fred Curley? Would you rather see
Oh
him in the
yeah.
sprints? Would you rather see him in the four? We, like, what do you think of him as a competitor?
I
Man,
here. Oh, now I remember my question.
in, man,
Write it
he is different. He is different. He's got range. Uh, I would love to, as a quarter miler, I would love to see him go back to the 400. I know at some point he will, but at the same time, with him getting silver, running 9.8, PRing, I, I kind of want to see what he can continue to do with more years of training in the 100 and the 100 only, or even 1-2 training wise. But
Well,
as a quarter miler, I want to see him go back to the quarter and see what he can do there.
with
That was
this
my
with this
philosophy.
100-meter speed, do you think that? Because here's the thing: when Fred Curley says something, I believe it. Do you believe in his phase 42?
I do. He's never had a problem with the speed for the 400. It's consistent races. I think is what hurt him. He runs great rounds, and then something happens in the final where he's not running the same style race that he did in the semis. At U.S. trials in 2019, he ran the exact same way all three rounds, and obviously he ran 43 mid and won. And then at World Champs that year in the finals, it wasn't the same race strategy, in my opinion. that it was in the semifinals, and I think that kind of cost him a little bit. But I think getting silver at the Olympics is going to help him mentally moving forward with being able to show up at the major championships in the 400.
I thought it was odd to do it in an Olympic year, but my thought was he's using this to go back to the 400 because
Yeah,
I think
it was a very bold decision, very bold
yeah,
decision.
that is a bold.
But with his strength and his turnover that he has, and I saw the way he was running early on. I don't think he was quite ready for the 400 to be able to go to trials and run a fast time at that time. So it was probably that's probably the main reason why they decided to run the 100. He was running fast, and with his strength, running rounds in the 100 is probably nothing to him.
right. Because I mean, we're also forgetting that although he wasn't in the 200 at the games, he was in the 200 at the trials
Hmm.
in the final.
Yep.
So he's still got the 200-meter speed. Obvious. I mean,
Yeah.
we expect it as a quarter miler, but yeah, I automatically assumed like, oh, he's just doing this to get ready for the four, and that's coming from the person who gets out like a bad hell because I rely a lot on my speed. Like I
Yeah.
train fast up front to get ready for the 400 in the summer. So I remember my question. You say you and MJ been texting. What y'all talking about?
Just random different
What
things.
y'all
Like
talking about?
some of it is the false starts that are going on, and there was one in the 100. I think it was Hughes from Great Britain. He false started, and they ended up letting him stay in. And then the Nigerian false started right after that, and they kicked him out.
Yeah,
That didn't make sense to me. And then also in the first round of the 200, someone false started, they kicked him out, and then later they put him back in the last heat in lane 9 and allowed him to run again. So it's kind of they're not consistent with how they're doing things, and it's kind of getting confusing. Um, if someone false starts, what is going to happen? So it's little things like that, and just what he saw versus what I saw in certain races, and just little things like that, like we normally talk about.
is he over in Tokyo or is he broadcasting from the UK?
I think he's in London broadcasting from there.
Okay, cool, cool. That's I'm gonna just throw that out there. That's one of mine and Jay's connection is that MJ Michael Johnson was both mine and Jeremy's agents at the beginning of our careers, and so MJ was like a mentor slash boss, even though we were the boss, but we
Yeah,
listened to
exactly.
what he told us to do. And to this day, he's still dope and one of our mentors and someone that we can
Hmm.
always call on. So clearly, you are I mean, 400 was your calling, but how did you find your way? Did you always run the 400, or did somebody
I
say,
when I first started running in high school, my coach asked me what I wanted to run, and for some reason, I chose the 4 and the 2. Don't know
What?
why.
we said everyone says the 400 chooses them. Nobody chooses the 400, and here you
No,
Like
I
a race
kind of chose it.
built for this. I chose his life.
I,
This life.
I chose it for some reason, and I don't regret it, obviously. Uh, but yeah, I told him I wanted to try it, and it just stuck with me.
You just love at first race, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. My first race I went 50 flat, so it was going the right direction.
You said that you weren't afraid to race anybody. Was there someone that you were like, okay, when they come on the line, it's time to get it cracked? Did you like? I know we talked about Little Sean
I would
Merritt
say
rivalry,
that would be my guess.
but like also, I mean, Angela was running this at the time. Like,
So in 2006, it was Xavier Carter. With
Ooh,
what he did, with what he did at the NCAA level, and then all the talk that he was getting after his 19.6 in Lausanne, his next race was obviously Rome
that
against me. So uh, there was a lot of hype for that race. The the press conference the day before was very interesting. and in my mind, I knew he wasn't gonna beat me, and I was ready for it, and it showed up the next day. So that race I was really excited about. Um, and then obviously every time I stepped on the line with LaShawn, was I was always prepared. I was always ready to run because I knew if I didn't run well, that he was gonna beat me, and he was gonna be right on my butt the whole time.
You know your record between you and LaShawn?
No,
But if you had to put money on who won more races,
Jay gonna bet on himself all the
I,
time.
I
I'm trying to get him to say
yeah,
it though.
yeah. I don't know what our record was against each other. I think I'm on top. Uh, but later in my career, it just depends on later what happened later in the career. Uh, between
60
the
competed in the 400, and you got that Golden League jackpot when they were really
When we was really getting some coins.
yeah, that year kind of I that was the first year they changed the way they were doing the payout for the jackpot too. So because it used to be in the past, it was whoever won got the whole jackpot. Each one got the whole jackpot.
And
And
how
then in
much we
2000, it was a million early at the beginning. So like during MJ's time, whoever won all six races, they each got the million. And then in 2006, they decided to change it to where everybody who won at least five meets would split half a million, and then whoever won six would split the other half. So me, Sonya, and Asafa, we were able to split half from the five group and half and then the six group.
cool.
And then just the five people got the ones that there was like I think two others that won five races that year. So our payout wasn't as big as what we would have hoped, but it's still better than what the Diamond League is.
Yeah.
I was very I got upset when they decided to get rid of the Golden League and change it to the Diamond League. I didn't like it.
It sounds like
Uh,
gold is not better than diamond.
No,
So,
seriously. I always say my first season out, it was still Jay, you remember, which was
mhm,
2007.
mhm,
It
yeah,
was the league, and I only ran 3 races. I didn't win any of them. I came in third in all three, and I came home with close to $100,000.
gosh darn it.
yeah,
Like
yeah. Golden League was
the,
by far superior.
the Diamond League.
It only, but the thing was, it hurt other events. Um, for instance, it hurt a lot of the throws. Some of the jumps they weren't getting in the Golden League, so it was only 6 to 7 events each year that were a part of the Golden League. So Diamond League is kind of better for all events, but payout wise, when it comes to prize money, Golden League was by far the way to go.
I have another question.
Hold on, wait. I want to address Marcus in the chat. He wants to know what conference is Baylor going to end up going to.
Of course, he would bring that up.
First.
I don't know. He just needs to stay in worrying about Texas and stop worrying about Baylor.
Because they're going to get beat up on in the SEC. That's all I'm going to say.
My question is, so now you're a high school track coach, right?
Hmm.
And I always say, like, I don't think I could ever coach because I lack empathy and also just like because you know what it's like being on a team, especially in high school. Like, there's the athletes that clearly want to be great, and there's some athletes that like you got to push.
Hmm.
And I feel like I would not have the patience to push those athletes because I'm like, I've done everything I'm asking you to do. So
Hmm.
I need to get on this line and do this workout. Eric just texted me. He's talking about something he just woke up. Um, but how is it being a high school coach and sewing into that next generation of future track stars, and having to motivate the next generation?
I love it so far. I've been having a blast. I've had great athletes come through the program. Um, I thought early on, I was kind of my first year. I was kind of a little nervous. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I was ready to be a coach. But I had a couple athletes I was able to kind of get close with, and really understand how to train different style athletes, whether it's from the way they train or the type of person they are. Like you said, you got some that are motivated that do what you ask, and you got some that just they don't want to listen. They want to do it their own way, or they just don't care. And fortunately for me, I haven't had those that type of athlete yet. But I think the way I coach and the way I am with people, I'm able to kind of pull each athlete to the side and get a relationship with them and understand how they train and how their mind works, and I can kind of form my training for them for each athlete that way.
I will say that Jay is very patient because I'm sure there were a couple of times when we were on the circuit together that you wanted to choke me, but you were patient
Never, never.
and you worked with me and you gave me nice, good brotherly advice. Do you coach any of your children? Can you coach your children or
That's a touch. I can coach them. Uh,
So legally,
I try and help. I try to help Coach Bella. I'm not the best jump coach, so I don't really I'm still learning how to be a jump coach and how to do technique and everything like that. So that is a little hard for me to do. I do give her some workouts for conditioning wise, trying to get her to a little bit better in the 4 and the 2. I think she can also run the 8, but she doesn't want to listen. Um, but I think with her, it's I don't want to get in the way of her coaches,
yeah,
but at the same time,
very
I feel like I need to step in and do certain things. But it's I get home and I don't want to coach. That's the other problem is I coach during the day, and when I get home, I just want to enjoy my time with my family, and I have to really coach anymore.
that
So
it should be
I help out with my boys, but with Bella, it's kind of it's kind of a little different since she's a little bit older and on a team.
yeah. Tell us your kids' age. You've got Bella.
Bella is about to be 17 in October.
Bella's driving.
Uh,
I don't
yeah,
like
yeah. Lincoln is 8, and then Elijah is 6.
someone says, you know who lacks empathy? Sociopaths. I never claimed I wasn't one. Um,
no comment. One last, I think we're gonna
I
get.
have a question for Jeremy. With
I think she's got a lot of questions. So this could go on for hours.
you got to
Yeah,
hang out with Jeremy. This is my one chance.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna take Would you ever see yourself coaching on like a collegiate pro level? Because I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of foreign guys that would love that.
or a Team USA because that was my question, but we'll get into
See, we're
it.
always on the same
So
wave.
Not quite, but
If you just let me get my question out, Natasha.
so I think at some point I do want to get on the college level. That has been kind of a dream of mine since as during my career. I paid attention to Coach Hart for so many years, picked his brain, asked him so many questions. To this day, I still ask him a couple questions. Obviously, with Coach Michael Ford, I talk to him all the time and get a couple workouts for him from him that I can use on my athletes. So I do want to get to the college level, and I had an opportunity last year before COVID hit to train Aldridge Bailey a little bit in the 400. So I was kind of getting adjusted to that. He's done an amazing job this year on the 400 hurdles. Um, but so coaching professionally as a professional coach, I would do that. But I want to get some more years under my belt before that happens, obviously. And then as for going to a U.S. national team, obviously that would be a great experience to do, and I would love to do that. Whether it's just going on as a relay coach or as a mentor, one or the other, just being a part of it and helping out is kind of what my calling is right now.
so we not doing it today, but That's where I wanted to go with it
Ooh,
because
ooh,
we
ooh.
have had some experiences on Team USA with the relays.
Hmm.
What's your okay? The final hasn't run yet, but based on what we've seen in the 400 hurdles, the 800, look at me throwing out my. What do you think the 4x4 lineup should be
For the women or the men?
for the women? I said
For
the
the
eight.
women.
You never know. You haven't been there.
So, th- th- honestly, you could throw anybody out there and they're gonna win.
Yep.
In my opinion, I think I know that. But if you want to go for the world record, which I think they have an opportunity to do, you have to put a thing. You have to put Sydney. You have to put Delilah, and then you have to pick whoever runs the best in the final of the Open Four.
Yeah,
Did I not say that?
you did say
Jay,
that. You did say that
So
last.
air high five. That's basically what I said.
I said that as well, but I also said I'm biased and I want Allison on the team. But then I was
no,
also
no, and that's another thing. I do want to see Allison go
that,
out with one more relay.
that's
Um,
good.
that's when it gets tricky. And
And
it,
Jay is saying exactly what I'm saying.
And he's saying exactly what I'm saying. I said, here's what you need
We-
to do, and here's what I want to see. Is
Yeah.
I want to see Allison run one more
We all
4x4 in
wanna
her
see-
last Olympics.
We all want to see Allison go out.
And you're not going to get a bad leg
but-
from her.
But we also
Exactly.
say
Aries is here.
that Team USA, like, if we're going to set what the standard is, if the rules are the rules are the rules, we've got to standard across the board.
I
let me
understand
finish.
that.
Let me finish because you get passionate. Let me finish. And so we all want to see Allison go out on her fifth team and anchor this thing. But we've got to keep in mind what the goal is if we're going for the world record, and B, how everyone has performed, and how do we got to put the four best legs out there. And I'm not saying that Allison is not one of the best four legs, but the standard has to be the standard, and we have to make sure that we put the best four legs out there.
I agree completely. I just always believe Allison's going to give you one of the best legs.
I'm not saying
whether
not.
she shows fitness or not. I always am like Allison. Allison has always come through for
I'm
me.
not saying
for me,
not.
She's a competitor. That's why.
That's what I'm
She's a
saying.
She loves the competition. She loves getting up there and just proving a lot of people wrong. She's done that over the years. She did at the trials this year. People were counting her out because everything she's gone through the last few years, and you see now she's running faster each race. So I think she'll run even. I think she'll season best in the final.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be enough to medal, and I think it'll also be enough to make it onto the relay.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I think we got to see. But I agree that based on what we've seen so far, in terms of the and Mike L, yeah, new runners need their time to shine too. That's sort of my point
what the prelims
too.
for.
That here we go. You can't be extreme like experience, but you can't gain experience if we don't give experience. And
Exactly.
I think the ladies that are there have enough experience for us to trust whoever we put there. But I do agree that from what we've seen so far, those are the three legs that I pick, and then it's gonna have to go based on who's the top American finisher in the final.
And I agree completely. I just will never not pick Allison.
Aries is here.
Aries is here. If y'all don't know who Aries Merritt is, I'm about to tell you. He's the reigning world record holder in the 110 hurdles with a 1280. That's the largest drop in the world record since Ronaldo Maya broke the world record. He has an Olympic gold medal from 2012 London. He has a 2015 bronze in the World Championships in Beijing. He has an indoor gold medal in the 60 hurdles from 2012 and in 2000, y'all were going off in 2006 because Jeremy was undefeated in 2006, and so was Aries in the hurdle races. Got to be clear on that. But you won indoors NCAAs and outdoors NCAAs. And you're in the second fastest collegiate time behind Ronaldo Nehemiah. Just amazing person, a light. We're gonna talk more about you after we get through these predictions. You're on my team. We're
Okay.
talking. We just finished talking about who should be on the women's 4x4, and should we just continue into who we think is going to be on top of this podium for the men's 400?
Sure.
Also, hi Aries. Hi, how are you? Welcome to Track Girl Summer.
No, this is early for me. I just woke up literally like 10 minutes ago.
I'm never getting like world record holders out of their bed to be on our little show, but it needed to happen. I was texting Aries like, "You better get up. I need some world records."
Yeah, you definitely were texting me, and I was definitely still in bed. But yeah, I had to at least brush my teeth real quick.
Well, they look nice. I'm so happy. Like Jeremy, I've been such a big fan, and Aries is one of my favorite people. And so, honestly, we say the show is like to bring the culture to track and field, but I'm realizing more and more now it's just to like live out my childhood dreams. I've always wanted to ask my favorite athletes. It has nothing to do with like no offense to people watching. It's nothing to do with y'all. It's really just about what I want to hear. Thank you for being here. Tasha's got this camera together. Okay, the way we do this, if you don't know, we have Team Natasha. We're gonna go Jeremy, 100 Hurdle Gang, Team Corey, Aries, hurdlers, how we do. And Aries, I know Aries, I feel like not only is going to give us places, but he's also going to give us times. Aries, be on it.
I'm trying to get y'all something.
So I need you up and alert, Aries.
All right.
I'm trying to get up and alert.
Before we get started, this portion of our segment is sponsored by Hustle Clean. This is the Hustle Clean podium prediction.
Hustle Clean is a mission-driven self-care brand for active lifestyles. Products are sold nationwide in Walmart and Target. It's athlete and Black owned, and get in the hustle and get clean. That's not their slogan, but I've been saying it, and I think that they should be coming up with a new slogan.
Thank you, Hustle Clean, for this segment. That's paying the bills. So the men's 400, I'm going to read off the lane assignments. Producers, if you guys have a tweet with the lane assignments, that'll be great for this segment too. In lane 2, we've got Isaac Makwala of Botswana. Lane 3, Lemarvin Nabachaya, Netherlands. Lane 4, Karani James. Lane 5, Columbia, Jose Zambrano. Lane 6, USA, Mike Cherry. 7, Stephen Gardner. 8, Michael Norman. And 9, Jamaica, Christopher Tanoka. Who's got first pick?
Y'all can go. This is your wheelhouse.
Jay? We starting from bronze or gold?
What do you want to start at?
Let's start from bronze.
Starting off, we got Karani James for gold at 45.63.
At 45,
Wait. That's 43.63. Sorry, I'm tripping.
I was about to say,
I don't know what happened.
You were 2 seconds off.
I got Karani James. No, I got Karani James at 43, 63, yeah. He just ran that 44.8 way too easy. And like Karani is the kind of person, he's the kind of person that shows up. Yeah. You say 48? Okay.
He went 43.8 in the
semi. He read it too easy.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'm back into shape. I'm not gonna lie.
And my
he crossed the line and couldn't even believe the time. He was just like, "What?" So that's what I think.
And my fact about Karani James is I did some Googling this morning, and he's single, Tasha.
Karani's a little bit too young for me, but
well,
Oh my God.
From the stalking I was doing on socials, I don't see a leading lady in Karani's life. So
Okay, Jay, back to you.
I'm going with Gardner.
For the bronze or the win?
No, for the win.
From lane 1?
No.
Stephen
Oh,
Gardner?
sorry.
No.
Sorry.
McCullough's in 1.
I was looking at there and I was like, wait,
Gardner's in 7. Gardner does look good. Gardner has.
Gardner hasn't even ran full speed yet.
He ran a t-shirt.
Yeah, in a t-shirt because he forgot his top.
I was weak. I was like, why are you running that damn t-shirt? I was like, what is wrong with him?
The thing is, between Gardner and Karani, those two are both world and world champs. Karani is an Olympic champion, so you can't count either of them out. But I just think at this time it's Gardner's, and I've got Karani at silver.
But I feel like if you ain't locked in enough to remember your uniform top, like I need you like focused. Well, because everyone knows that when you're in the hotel, you're like uniform, spikes. You walk to get to the elevator. You walk back to make sure you look in your bag, make sure you got uniform, spikes. You get down the lobby, you double check, you got uniform, spikes.
You could look at it that way, or you could look at it as he forgot it and he went out there in his t-shirt and kept his composure and ran easy and still got the job done. So
I still think Karani's gonna win, but
it could have been a distraction.
That's just what me and my partner think.
Business, it don't matter. So
I think that Karani's gonna win. I think that Steven is gonna get silver. I think he's gonna run like 43.
I love that he gives
you locking this in.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give him 43. 70, like 78. We're gonna give him 43, 78. And then we're gonna give Norman bronze.
Out of lane 8.
Wait, we gotta talk through these things, okay?
Oh, okay.
We're gonna lock it in, but we want to hear why we're going with these picks.
We do like y'all are. Yesterday we spent a good 35 minutes putting the 200 and rearranging the 200. Y'all are just like, I know it's gonna happen. Y'all came ready.
You gotta remember, I've been thinking about this for a couple of days, so it's already. I've been flipping Gardner and James because I've been saying Gardner and James are going to be fighting for first and second. Mm-hmm. Nobody else. I don't think anyone's going to be close near those two. I think it's just going to.
Norman's in front of his home family.
Yeah, I understand that, but and maybe I'm just overlooking at it and over analyzing it, but Norman hasn't quite looked the same through the rounds. And I don't know if maybe he's getting out the way he wants to, and then he's just relaxing the rest of the way, and then he's realizing he's got to work a little bit more and trying to pick it back up, or there's something going on whether he's feeling something weird like a pain somewhere that we don't know about, or his training isn't where it was in 2019.
Can you talk about how
Gail Deeper says she looks at the eyes, and I don't see it in the eyes, to be quite honest.
But can you talk about how if you get out like that and then shut it down and then have to speed up?
It's hard.
And it hurts your legs for the rest of the rounds.
It does, and also it kind of mentally it kind of throws you off because you're expecting to relax and not have to work as hard, and then all of a sudden you look out the corner of your eye and you see someone there about to pass you, and you want to win your heat, then you got to try and pick it back up, and you're like, crap. So it mentally it can kind of throw you off a little bit, but like you said, with your legs trying to pick it back up last second, it will use a little bit more energy. I just something that to me just seems off about Norman. I can't put my finger on it and figure out what it is. So and with Karani is a competitor, and he did run 43.8 in the semis. The thing is, how is that going to affect his race in the finals? The good thing is for him, he's had 2 days off. So being the older, I think he's one of the oldest ones in the group, which is strange to say. I think that extra day rest would help.
You're talking.
Say that again.
Because he's not old.
When you say older, you mean experienced out of the field, right?
Well, I'm not saying he's old. I'm just saying he's the oldest out of the final.
Experience out of the final.
And he's got the experience, and I know he's gone through a lot of health problems over the last couple of years. so he's kind of getting back in the groove of things. I think he is back to his old ways, and which I'm excited to see. So maybe this extra day of rest will help him be ready to go. But
So we see him at silver.
I see him at silver.
What do you think about the setup of the rounds and how they have all this rest?
I hate the 2 days rest. I hated it in 2008 at the Olympic trials. I hated it. An extra day of sitting there trying to figure out what you need to do, and I prefer 1 day rest or no rest. You know,
I like to go right through because I remember we went through that in 2008 together, where it's like it's not the physical rest, it's the emotional agony of waiting around, and people don't realize that like the repetitions that you run in your head can actually deplete your energy.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
for sure.
Yeah, because you'll overthink things. You'll overthink it when you don't have a day off, or you get 1 day off. You don't have as much time to think about things. You already have that. You already have that routine of what you're supposed to do between rounds and everything. And then when they all of a sudden out of nowhere threw in that extra day of rest in 08, I was just like, what do I do?
Yeah, because like you're up here emotionally, you come back down, and then you got that's where I had the trouble in 2008. That like I had to bring myself back up after 2 days of rest, of like, because it's like you go out for round one, brush off the butterflies, cobwebs. Round two is on. Like after round two, you ready to go, and now you're telling me to maintain the beast. Like no, I
do like for example, the 400 hurdles before this year. Usually at trials we go 3 days straight, but what sucks is that between the semi and the final we have less than 24 hours of recovery, and then at the championships you have that day in between, and I appreciate that day in between because I'm like I am rushing to get ice bath, massage, food in my body, and then like wake up and like do it. And I don't have time to I feel like I'm rushed to recover. With that day in between with the 400 hurdles, because the 400 is the same energy, 400 hurdles, the same energy systems as the 800. I appreciate that extra day because I'm like, 24 hours is not enough time to recover. Less than 24 hours is not enough time to recover from 400 hurdles.
Yeah, I like the 1 day rest. I've always liked the 1 day rest, but you know, like Tosh said, you know, going round after round after round, it's easy on your mentally. It's easier to just go out there and run 3 days in a row.
Yeah, and Aries, like you have to come back. Like we're talking about a couple days. You're talking about a couple hours.
No, they're not doing that this time.
I know, but normally, how do you feel about that? Just like both having to come back and then having that day.
For me, I feel like it plays into our advantage to come back because we do get that rhythm. But later in my career, when I like had the kidney issues and stuff, well, I still do, but I feel like it helps me to have the more rest because I need more time to recover because my body doesn't do right.
Yeah.
But back to the 400 though. Why?
Casey says if Zambrano is in a race, he will medal. His finish is the best in the world right now. Have you seen watching him?
So
he's in the race. He should medal, but I don't know. He just ran a lifetime best, so he might be kind of toasted. I don't know. Maybe
my bronze has. I've been kind of flipping back and forth between Zambrano and Cherry.
Cherry does.
I want. Zambrano looks real good in the semifinals, and he does have one of the best finishes right now. But I want to go with Cherry just because I think he's due for a fast time, and I think he'll run close to sub 43 for the first time. He's gonna have to.
Say about that.
Well, wait, because there's something about Michael Norman though that I'm just about to play devil's advocate because this dude, he looked trash in the rounds at trials. He looked really bad. He looked really bad. He comes through, and he has this way of running that's it's so weird because you don't know if he hitting it or you don't know if he dying. So he could be.
And that was another thing I've been debating about because at trials, I had Norman getting second, and I had Cherry winning. And it was because the same situation. Norman just didn't look. I thought Cherry looked the best through the round, and it just didn't work out that way for me for my pick.
I was sitting at the start of the 400 for the men's 400 finals, and I'm with you, Jay. I had Cherry winning that. That boy Cherry was nervous. I don't know if y'all remember the and that's what it's gonna come down to him managing in this final.
This is the Olympic final. You nervous?
Olympic final, and being nervous is not a bad thing. You've got to be able to manage being nervous. And when they said on your marks, and Cherry went down in them blocks, I literally saw him shaking in the blocks, and he was the reason why they called the race back, called the start back, because I remember the sensors were so sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
The boy was shaking. It wasn't that he moved off of the blocks; he was shaking. He was that nervous. So I think he has the talent to do it. I just wonder if he's able to manage those nerves through this final on this stage.
So I would say butterflies is what you have before a race, because if you're not nervous, you're not excited to run. But I gotta make sure I make all those butterflies fly in the same direction. Like channel that and use it as adrenaline. Don't turn it into nervous energy. Like you have to like channel it, not let it scatter you. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
You just don't know. He's like that unknown factor in the whole race. Like, is he gonna show up? Is he not? But look at Rye. Rye showed up in a big way, and they trained together. So I mean, if that's any indicator. I mean,
but Rye has shown up to every race he's ran this year.
You ain't ever lied. You ain't ever lied. But they trained Norman a little bit differently this year too, because of the way he peaked too early in the past and running 43.4 first damn meet. They trained him a lot differently. So we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see if all that training is paid off.
Yeah, whoever gets third is gonna have to run a season best, obviously.
It's gonna take 43 seconds to get third.
I'm just putting season best. Like,
okay.
Since we got something.
I'm like, we didn't agree on our
calm down. But like Jerry said, think about 2 days now. He should have an idea about third place.
I do think the top three are going to go sub 44. I do believe that. Man, I've been going through this in my mind for the last couple of days.
We still got to get the hurdles.
I want to go with Cherry.
Oh, you don't. I tried to tell you, Natasha.
I want to go with Cherry, but at the same time, Zambrano, I think, might surprise some people.
I always like throwing a wild card in.
So you want a Michael Zambrano is what we're hearing?
Michael and Zambrano both wild cards, because you never know. I mean, that Zambrano is going to finish, period. But Michael Norman, no. Michael Norman.
We locked in. We got Michael Norman. We trying to figure out what they want.
Okay. I'm just saying, now Michael Norman could pull a damn Wade Van Niekerk, go out there and
he could. And that's what
you don't even know.
That's what's going to have to happen if Norman wants to get up in the medals. He's just going to have to run and get out and just say, "Come get me."
Because
he's in lane 3.
Michael Norman's in.
No, he is in 8. So yeah, he's gonna have to get out and hope that he doesn't see anybody come off that curve.
LeBron's like now, 5 minutes ago, because we still have to get this one.
Don't rush me and Jay.
I know. I'm sorry. I apologize. Please don't hold it against me. Please still be my friend. We're friends now.
I think I gotta go with Cherry.
We going with Cherry?
Yeah, okay. I got to.
Right, Cherry. I'm gonna take the. We locking in?
Yeah, I'm locking in.
I mean, Cherry is training with JS, and he has looked great all season. So there's that. He does look good. Like I'm not saying he doesn't look good. He looks great, but
this is Olympic final.
And John Smith's athletes always somehow seem to sneak in on the podium.
John Smith and always come home with hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
All right, let's get into these won 10 hurdles. After Grant Holloway gets the gold, what's happening?
Jeez. I don't think anybody knows that.
I kind of know. I kind of know from looking at their rounds. I kind of know.
And what do you feel? Okay, I got a question for Aries.
Yes.
And this is how it's a hypothetical. If Omar was in this final,
it would be really tough. It would be tough to beat Omar if he was in the final.
Omar is a championship.
He's a game runner. Yeah, he's a gamer. Like that motherfucker will go out there with a hamstring. He could probably lead to damn 6. Not lead to 6 because you're not leading with Grant in the race to nothing because that man gets him.
Sorry. Come on, man. What are you saying? Brad is your gold medal.
I'm sorry, Natasha was shady as hell right now.
I'm weak.
You didn't hear me, Aries.
I'm weak.
I'm gonna repeat what she said. We said Omar's a championship runner, and she said, "So what happened in Jamaica then?"
Oh, that motherfucker cramped. But I don't know. I'm not. He cramped up. He had full body cramps when he came out there that morning. Yeah.
He does have cramps. I've trained with him, and he will cramp up.
Yeah,
because he's so muscular.
Yeah.
I feel like that affects. But shoot, that's me. Grant Holloway.
All right, but wait, let's go through the lane assignments. Men's 110 final. It's tomorrow night, right? August
it's tonight. It's tonight.
Okay.
Or it's for us. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, because
Everything's.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Lane 2, we have Agier Martinez of Spain. 3, Andrew Pazzi of Great Britain. 4, Grant Holloway, middle of the track. 5, Jamaica Ronald Levy. 6, Devin Allen of the USA. 7, Hansel Parchment of Jamaica. Don't sleep on Parchment. 8, Pascal Martineau Lagarde. And 9, Aral Manga. Both the 8 and 9 are our friends.
I still don't think Omar was going to get Grant because Grant is the only person in this final who's gone sub 13 this year, and he ran 12:81. He's knocking at your record.
Yeah. He is. But
and I think with Omar, he would get pushed to break the world record.
If Omar was in the race dynamic would be a lot different because Omar also, he runs a complete race. Grant's race, as good as he is, it's not complete. He runs a really hard 6 and he hangs on for dear life. And this is the Olympic final. He's gonna have nerves. He's gonna be nervous. Like even when I ran the Olympic final, I was like, oh shit, this is the Olympic final. And I ran 12:92. I missed the Olympic record. And I was tight. I ran it tight. And I saw something from him yesterday. He was running tight. And I'm like, why does he look like? Because his first round looked great, but then his second round didn't look as great. And I'm like, something's up there. But I don't see him losing. So I see him winning. Yeah, I don't see him losing. Something catastrophic would have to happen for him to lose.
Well, that's the hurdles, and
you gonna give us a time prediction? We doing
I don't. That's kind of hard because I wanted to give him like 12:8 something, but he didn't look like 12:8 material in that semi. Like he just looked like something was different about him. Like looking at him when they panned the camera to him and you saw his face, I was like, what's wrong with him? Something's not right. Then he started smiling on the line. That's uncharacteristic for him. He does not do that. And so I don't know what's going on there, but I will say that no one can beat him. No one should beat him theoretically. Now for the medals, I feel like Devin has a really good chance of getting a silver medal.
Yeah.
He has a really good chance.
And he is as well.
Because there's no Ortega. There's
so far that's my 2 picks too.
No Ortega, no Subankov.
We Holloway and Allen too.
Pascal's not looking like Pascal.
Yeah, I think so.
Pascal he's looking better each round, but he's coming off a hamstring injury. I don't know if he's gonna muster it out. We're gonna see. But I think Devin could sneak up in there and get a silver medal. For sure.
Can I ask you something, Aries?
Yes.
Because I don't have this problem when I run the 100 hurdles because of my height. But
you guys are Allen. So
is it the same? I feel like Allen could get. I feel like Allen should get a medal as well. He can medal, so I think he can get silver.
Okay, so we're the same.
We're the same. Okay.
So, when you have fast races and you're running fast, the hurdle comes up on you a lot quicker because everything's just happening in hyper speed. And I feel like with the taller hurdlers, you only have, I don't know what the distance is for men in between the hurdles.
It's like 9.7 meters or something like that.
To navigate 3 whole steps. You know what I'm saying? And so for the taller athletes, you want to be in your full stride, but you can't because you only have a certain amount of meters to get 3 steps in. Do you think that's going to be a factor with Holloway, like at the end of the race? And that's why he doesn't have those last 4 hurdles down, because he doesn't have the room to navigate the barriers and not crash and burn like we've seen.
And that's the thing that people don't get. It's not about the room. It's about the shuffle. And that's something that I mastered. And the shuffle, it keeps you away. Like if you open up just a little bit, it's going to throw your entire timings off. And he does the shuffle extremely well, better than I ever did for the first 6 hurdles. But
where the last 4 hurdles where your momentum comes in, and that's where you really got to.
Where you really got to do it. You really have to shuffle in the last, 3 hurdles, and that has not been happening these championships for him. But like I said, he's so much better than everybody else for the first 6 hurdles. Like they're gonna either this is what's gonna happen. They're gonna panic, and then he's gonna run away from them, or they're gonna be like they're gonna rise to the occasion and step up. I mean, we've seen a lot of people rise. I mean that Spaniard that's in lane 3 or 2. He might be in 2.
He's in 2.
I mean, he's been running well all season. I mean, Pazzi is somebody that's unpredictable. He'll run down 13-1 one day, 13-5 the next. You don't know. This might be his last Olympics. You don't know.
Casey in the comments said Pazzi has said the track is fast and it's messing up his rhythm.
That mono track, they said it's giving you 2%, but if you're not ready to handle that, because I always find that I have to kind of retune my technique every time I go through a training cycle, because I'm faster, I'm stronger. Like once we go through a training cycle, I have to refigure out how to get all these hurdles with more speed. Does that make sense? Do you feel like you have to go through that?
Yeah. If you get fast, your timing is off. And anytime, that's the thing about hurdles. When you get fast, it messes everything up.
You're only as fast as your technique when it comes to the hurdle.
That's correct. And whoever it's going to boil down to who has the cleanest race, because that's always how it boils down to. Like always, you can be the fastest person on earth. You can be really close to a world record or have a world record, and if you fail to execute your technique, it's over for you. It don't matter who you are, because the hurdle don't give a damn. To be honest, it just doesn't. So
this is like a master level class in the hurdle, master level class in the 400. Right here at Charcoal Summer. Who we got for third? We need to mix it up a little bit.
Switch it up.
Man, I have no idea. It's wide. Third is wide open, in my opinion. I would say either Levy or Parchment.
Oh, Parchment all day.
I want to go with my jam down.
Parchment could actually get silver. Don't be sleeping on Parchy. Parchy could come out there and get silver. For real.
Let me ask you this: with Levy being between Holloway and Allen, would that affect him?
I don't think so. I mean, because he's beaten Allen all year. Yeah. If Allen steps up and runs something spectacular, which is possible, it's the hurdle final, then he'll have. But most of the time, every time Devin runs outside of trials and finals, he runs very tight in Olympic finals, and he just doesn't run well in the final. That's been his whole thing. This is his second time making a global final. The first time was Rio, and it didn't go well, and this is his second global final ever. So. Because he goes to world championships and he doesn't make the final. He made the final. This is his third one. I'll take that back because
I feel like he was in the final in
Doha. He was in the final in Doha. Yeah, I think he came in 7th. Yeah, it's just something about finals that people rise or people crack, and I don't know what to say about. Grant Holloway is a gamer. He's a gamer, but something just has not been looking right. I don't know what it is. I just can't put my finger on it. But if you look at him in hurdles, it typically goes like this. Your first round is setting the tone, and your second round you build off what you did your first round. He ran 13:02 his first round. He just ran 13:13 in his semi. That's not characteristic.
And you got to get that rhythm together.
Right. If you look at what I did, I ran 13:03 in the first round, and I ran 12:94 in the semi. And I came back the same day and ran 12:92. But the whole day rest.
Devin's going to injuries and running his best now. And then for the question who says is Grant is this being Grant's first Olympic a factor? I don't think it is because the way he's been so dominant all year and the confidence he has coming off the world championships.
Yeah, he's been to world championships.
He's ready. He rises things. He runs really well against the best in the world.
He does, but the Olympics is an uncharacteristic amount of pressure. Even for me, I wasn't the favorite, but I was the favorite.
Yeah.
You know, so like you still have that. He's gonna run tight.
Are we still going with Allen for silver?
I'm thinking, you know what, God, because Parchi is so good in finals. Like I'm gonna go with Parchi. Put Parchi as put Parchi and then put Devin at third.
Okay. We locked in. What y'all doing?
I like Parchment, but I'm going with my team.
Let's go with Parchment for third.
For third?
Yeah.
Parchment, I mean, first of all, you know, Team Jamaica might be. But he just looked good to me in the semi.
Yeah.
He looked strong. And I think it's, you know, I'm a DeGrasse him a little bit. It's time for him to get on the podium because he's been good throughout the years, and I think he's looking good this year. So
I mean, Parchi.
I believe it. Am I nyamming yama bananas and I'm ready for the food.
Okay, so
I feel like if Grant falters, the Parchi is the kind of person that finishes his race well. Now that's if he falters. This is hypothetical. Now we already locked in. I already got Grant winning. But if something freak happens to Grant, God forbid, Parchment can come up there and snag that gold for Jamaica. I'm just saying. That's the kind of runner he is in finals.
I just don't like when you watch film on Grant, the way every hurdle is just like the last one, and the way his hips stay so level.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't.
I don't disagree, but it's something about the Olympic finals that
it is. It is. You can't sleep on nobody in the final.
Energy out there for Grant. I ain't putting energy out there.
I ain't putting energy out there. Like I said, like no one should beat him. Period. He should be the hands clear favorite. You know, but I'm just saying, if something freak were to happen, Parchi could come up and get the silver medal. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Grant ain't gonna win because theoretically he should win. So
my prediction is that this episode is going to go over time, like always. Jeremy, we appreciate you coming here, giving your expertise. You have made my day today. Not that it matters to you, but I'm so grateful that you came and like I feel like I love it here on this couch.
I appreciate y'all having me.
We're gonna let you go. But
you.
before we do, we always like to support business. What location in Dallas can they find your Jimmy John's?
I sold that.
Sold it?
I sold that back in December.
Find me before we.
Oh no!
How else can we support you, Jay? Let the people know.
I'm still gonna buy a Jimmy John's sandwich today in honor of Jeremy Warner, though. Jeremy?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said before, my goal is to, get up on a national team as a coach one day and coach college. So it's and possibly get into commentating. So, that's kind of what I want to kind of get into. So, supporting me that way, kind of getting my name out there and having my back whenever I need it.
Okay. And you can use this clip to show that you have all the knowledge, commentating, and your daughter can tell them how you're a great coach. So thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you. Thanks
for having me. Anytime.
I'll be hitting you up shortly.
And I'll steal your number from Tasha's phone.
Girl,
okay. Thank you, Jeremy. We're gonna talk to Aries about his life a little bit. I already gave your amazing resume to the people, but I want to tell you all about the first time I think I actually met Aries. And if you want, I'm actually a nice person, kind of, sort of. People think I'm nice, but one thing I don't play about is my hurdles. And so I was at some meet, and some man moved my hurdle And I got in a fight with Aries' coach and Aries over some hurdles. And Aries came over and was like, "Who is this little girl?" He's like, "This is my first year on the circuit," and I'm over here like, "How dare you touch my hurdle?" Because when you're at a meet, hurdles is like a hot commodity.
Yeah,
Okay,
You gotta get 'em quick.
is the annoying.
because we need to get these drills and these
Yeah.
reps. And that is the first time I think I ever met Aries. We were in a fight. And I don't know what possessed me to think I could just like, of course, Aries, like you're the world record holder. You get all the hurdles you want, but yes. Do you remember that?
I don't remember it a lot. I mean, so many people done stole my hurdles.
You were stealing mine, Aries.
I don't know, Andreas. I make sure Andreas gets to the track a whole hour before everybody to make sure he has my 3 hurdles. I think he might have came over and
Right
took
there
my
with him. He was right there with him. Is Flo. Flo be on the first bus.
I'm mad that he said, "I make sure Andre."
Yes, I have to because it's
You
doggy
have
dog
to.
up there. You have to. Andreas always goes to the track way before me to make sure that I have 3 hurdles. He does.
Same with Flo.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
real out here in these streets. You
I
got to go
see.
get your hurdles.
I see.
But we share hurdles though. We share all the time. People will come
Yeah.
up like, yeah.
We've ended our beef. I know we have talked about, speaking of your coach, talk about you and your coach's relationship, because I feel like you see Aries, you see Andreas, like y'all are 2 peas in a pod.
Our relationship is pretty unorthodox, I guess, for coach athlete. Like it's pretty much like he's my friend. Like I'll come to practice, I'll say, okay, this doesn't feel right, and we'll instantly do plan B. There's no like, oh, we're just gonna muscle through this workout. It's never any of that. It's always like it's always a communication. And like me and Andreas are so close. I can tell him things. I can tell him personal information. I can tell him whatever it is. That's how close we are. And so our coach athlete relationship has lasted as long as it has. I think 14 years now, because of the way I'm able to talk to him about anything, because of the way I'm able to, kind of dictate what happens if my body isn't feeling right. I'll let him know right away. There is no like, well, I think I can push through this. I'm not 20 years old anymore. You can't push through these little aches and pains, because as soon as you try to do that as an older athlete, you get injured. And that's just the relationship we have. Like it's to the point now where it's like I'm telling him what I felt, and then he'll say, "All right, we'll just correct it." That's all it is.
So it's way more of a collaborative.
Yeah.
And so we heard you talk extensively about this. Like you are a student of the sport.
I am. I watch everybody.
And that's because I grew up kind of modeling my hurdle technique after male hurdlers, and then eventually I started hurdling more like a woman hurdler. There is, for people who don't know, there is a difference in techniques, because the ratio between your average height of a female hurdler to the height of the hurdle is a lot smaller than guys have some actual hurdling to do. Women can actually just
right.
But I've watched your form. I've compared it to Dave Oliver. Like, who would you say you've modeled your form after, or like who's your favorite like hurdler to watch for their technique, or like also just who's your favorite hurdler to race against?
I've modeled my form. It's a mixture, because like my arm carry is unorthodox. Everyone knows that, and I've been doing that since I was in high school. And that's something that people have tried to change, and they've just been unsuccessful. And so Andreas just left it alone. But my lower body mechanics is very much like Skeets or Ronaldo Nehemiah. When you look at film, like my trail leg comes all the way back around to 12 o'clock before it comes down. And so that's just been the way I've modeled my lower body mechanics. And my shuffle is just something that I've always had. I mean, I obviously had to perfect it, but it's something that I was like blessed with. And so my arm carry is different. My shuffle was, God given, and then my lower body mechanics, when it comes to hurdling, is very much like Ronaldo.
And actually, my high school coach always references you in your arm carry, because it is unorthodox. But he always says, like, with hurdling, it's not like the other events where like this, well, maybe like the jumps, but where like this is the form, and it's definitely you have to adapt to your body type and what works for you and how you kind of approach the hurdles. So I just always ask you, but I don't know why I haven't. The other thing you mentioned earlier, you've had health issues with your kidney disease. Can you just talk about that journey and getting a transplant and how you've been able to like go through that and then also work your way to getting back on the track after it?
Well, 2012, everyone knows, was the magical year for me, and then so I'm just gonna omit that part. and then in 2013, I just kept getting injured that whole year. I kept pulling my hamstring. I pulled my hamstring 3 times that year, twice indoors, and once in Shanghai that year. And I still came back and made the World Championship team in Moscow. Tasha, I'm pretty sure you're on that team as well. Yeah, and so like, you know, the plan was to
wait, I gotta stop because you pointed out that I was on that team as well. You, me, LaShawn, Karan Clement, there's somebody else that I'm missing. We were all on the
junior team.
World Junior team. And then we came up through the ranks throughout the years being on teams together. So that was always like
Where are the photos? I need these photos.
thing on the circuit. 2004 Grosseto team still rocking. So yes, we were teammates.
And honestly, Allison is supposed to be on that team too, but she didn't go. She went to the Olympics instead. Yeah.
Sorry guys, I've got the
Sorry
Olympics
for you little people.
But like, y'all have fun. Do your thing. Good luck. Team.
But that was always our thing. Shalonda as well. Yep. Yeah. We had
our class was monstrous. Yeah, we had a bomb class.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Going into Lentz, was our training camp that year. You know, I was ready. You know, I was ready to drop sub 13 easy. And then we got to Moscow and something just wasn't right. My body wasn't responding. I couldn't finish any workout. Like I was just tired all the time, didn't know what it was. And so after I failed to win the World Championship title, I think David Oliver won in 13. I went immediately back home and I moved to Phoenix because that was the plan. And as soon as I got to Phoenix, I just was sleeping and my body started turning into like a marshmallow. So when you touch it, it would be all mushy and stuff. And I'm like, what the heck is going on in my body? So I instantly took myself to Mayo Clinic and checked into the emergency room. And they were like, yeah, you're leaking massive amounts of protein in your kidneys. So we need to do some tests. And it was like renal disease, like the worst that you can have. And I'm just like, well, how do we fix it?
I just want to clarify this date after you won a bronze medal.
Yeah, this is this is before that.
Okay, this is before that. Sorry.
Yeah, this is before that. So no one knew what was happening. So this is way before that. Yeah. So I was going through this after all of 14. I didn't run because I was dealing with this kidney thing, and then like my kidneys got back to like 60% capacity for 2015, and so I ran my whole indoor season at 60% capacity kidneys, and then they started to die come outdoor. Yeah, and so like I knew that they were gonna like fail, but I thought I would have until Rio for them to fail, but I didn't have that long. It was too rapid. Yeah.
I'm just like, I always talk about how athletes are absolutely insane, and we just push our bodies to be like, yeah, like I knew my kidneys were gonna fail, but if I could just get to Rio,
yeah,
like, I just don't have the words to talk about, because you're literally putting your life at risk. Like we always say, like, are you ready to die out here on the track? And like we keep everyone's like, yes. And Aries, what? So that happens. What happens next?
Let's see.
Your sister gave you her kidney.
She did. My sister did give me her kidney. I love her very much for that.
Sorry. I'm gonna pause you because your sister gave you your kidney. Everyone, just a reminder, send a Black Women's Money today.
Also, his
just
sister is the reason why he's here this morning. I had to jump through hoops to find this. Okay, I just let you know how in the family I am. I'm in. I was like, Toya, where's your brother?
Yes. But you know I would always do it if you ask me. So I'm that kind of person where if you ask me to do something, I'm going to do it for you, especially if I know you and I've known you for years. So.
We just gotta find you, Waldo.
Where is Aries? Go ahead with your story. Sorry.
No, y'all are good. So
Oh, dear.
me, so 2015, I did the entire year. I thought what I thought was going to be fine. You know, my kidney was great. It was lasting. So 60% to 100 is normal. So I was functioning normally. And then like every day, you know, I guess it kept getting worse, but Mayo Clinic didn't really tell me anything. And so we get to Prefontaine, and I ran the second fastest time in the world. Pascal Latino Lagarde beat me with 13:06. I ran 13:12. And I was like, yeah, we're finally starting to get some rhythm back. Everything's going great. And then I got a call at pre, and it was like Mayo. And I'm like, what? They never call and leave a message. And so it must be important. So I went in and I was trying to figure out what was happening. And, you know, he was like, I need you to come in. So I go in, and he was like, I want you to look at this graph. And this is your kidney function over the last 8 months. And he was like, you need to stop training immediately. And I'm like, why? He was like, you training and taking protein and pushing your body is destroying your kidney. Look at this. And I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, well, I'm not stopping. I mean, I'm already committed. You know, like I just can't stop. Like I'm the second fastest hurdler in the world. Like what's happening? Like I can't just stop running. And so he was like, all right, well, at this rate, your kidney function is going to be 0 by March of 2016. So you need to figure out what you want to do and get your house in order because you can't run anymore. And I'm just like, well, that's not an option. What's another option? Like they weren't going to take running away from me at this point. I was too close to the world championships at this point. I'm second fastest in the world, and my kidneys are at like 30%. So we might be able to muster by if I can, you know, just get, if I could just get.
Even a thought.
This is
and the
this
question
happens
in the chat, how do you maintain that drive and focus as you're going through this?
because there is no other option. We're gonna run. I'll figure out how to get these with or without these kidneys. Aries is gonna run.
Yeah, I was gonna run, and so I was trying to figure out how I was gonna get to where I needed to get to, and it was a mess. And so I had to pull out of New York, and because I had to get like a biopsy where they go in and they take a piece of your kidney and pull it out to do testing. So I had to do that. My sister, I told her immediately. She flew down to get like tested to make sure she was a match. And so like I didn't run again until trials. And it was a very emotional trials for me because I knew what was pending. I knew I had to get a transplant eventually. No one knew. And it was to the point where I was running well, but I was like barely scraping by. I ran like 13. I ran 13:1 to make the team. And David beat me, and I think who else? Somebody else beat me. I got third, but like I just barely scraped by, you know, and like I was emotionally over it. I was like, people have to know. And my sister was at the line, and she was like, nope, you can't say nothing. You can't say nothing because they won't let you go. Don't say nothing. And so I just went to the car and broke down because like I was just in such a negative state of mind. And because of that, I knew what was happening. I went to Europe and I was running like trash. I was running like 13:50, 13:40, 13:60. And this is before Beijing. And so and at that point, my body started to change because my kidneys were failing, and I started to lose a lot of weight really, really quick. Like I was like 158 in Beijing. And when we went to Narita for training camp, right? Yeah, we went to Narita. And I was 158 in Narita for training camp. And normally I was 170 when I broke the world record. Yeah, I was really, really thin. Because I just couldn't eat anything. I couldn't eat protein anymore. Like I was trying to eliminate everything I could to try to get me through the world championships.
That's like you need protein in order to keep muscle mass.
Right.
Yeah. And someone has said that like, man, this is your life. Like, you know, how you're saying like, I needed to do this, and you're playing with your life. But I feel like as athletes, we sometimes feel like, what? You'll still hear us the picture. I go like, but as athletes, we feel like life is track. Like we really live life, but you can't run. And I feel like you made it work because this is your passion. This is your dream. But continue. I'm sorry. I'm literally in awe of you right now, Aries. Also, just because you said you were in such a negative space, but I've never been around you and not have like positive joy.
Yeah, because I know I don't show it. I keep it together, and you know, like I'll cry in silence when people don't see.
And I get that, but I'm just like, while you were like going through the struggle, like I felt like you were out here inspiring a lot of other athletes, encouraging a lot of other athletes, and we didn't even know what you were going through. And I just have to thank you for that.
I
Not
appreciate it.
not for hiding your emotions, just but for being strong for others in the midst of what you're going through.
Yeah, I was really good at compartmentalizing like a lot of issues, and so that's exactly what I did. Like I think I told Jason Richardson because we saw each other at because he failed to make the team, but I saw him in Hungary because that's a very popular meet that everyone goes to.
Love that
And
race. Jason.
yeah, and that's right. And so I went there and I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing well. So I'm having some massive medical issues. And he was like, what's going on? And I was like, I really can't say. And that was the last time I spoke to him about that. And then like I didn't go public with it until 2015. A week before I ran my first round, I was like, okay, I'm gonna talk about it now because I'm already here. They can't send me home. And so
I will hide a life-threatening illness because
yeah.
I'm afraid that they'll take me out the team for my safety. But like, it is what it is. Like, yes, love it. I always say like, because people sometimes when we do crazy things like this, like honestly, this is the best thing for your health. We know that we're doing something crazy. We know like that this isn't technically the best thing for us, but I think it's always like, but so like the job has to get done.
Right.
These things don't matter. And like you said, compartmentalization. It's like I would say like the way I sometimes approach my life, I give everything to track. And is it healthy for the long run and for who I am as a whole human being? No, but I accept that. Like I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a struggle. It really was. And so I went to. It's crazy because when I told my story, you know, it felt like a huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders. It was just like, oh, finally I can breathe because before it was just like no one knew, and it was just like you're holding on to this secret, and I'm just like, I just gotta say something. I gotta say something like this. People don't know, like, and it was I was under the speculation that I was doping because I wasn't running as fast, and people were like, oh, well, he was clearly on something because he can't break 13.1 and he was running 12.8, something's not right. And, you know, like people had no idea. And so I was taking that backlash. Oh, he's on drugs, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, no, not on drugs. Like I'm going through something that nobody goes through. And I don't wish this on anyone to go through because, you know, kidneys are very important. They filter toxins and they just help you live your life. And I wasn't living life. I was starving. I was doing everything I could to make sure I can run this damn final. Anything I could do by any means necessary is what I was doing. And because I knew that this could potentially be my last time running. And so I was like, I just got to make it through Beijing. And I made it through and I got a medal. At like 10% kidney function. That shit was low. I was like, oh wow. Well, every round I was thankful for the 24-hour break. I really was. Because I needed all that time to go and sleep. I think I slept like 16 of those 24 hours. Yeah, it was bad.
I'm literally in awe of like the mental fortitude it took to do this, and like obviously physically you were tapped, and it's crazy how you were like, you know, I was getting whooped. I only got third, and I'm like, so many people would be happy to get third, and like at your, I guess like what I'm basically getting to is at your worst, you're still one of the best in the world. Period.
Yeah, I ran 13:03 and got damn bronze. I was like, damn, these motherfuckers bro.
This is
to cut that.
No, but like actually, I don't care because Ayers Merritt talking about him getting.
So tell us a little bit of life now on the other side because I mean you still have to. I mean we always maintain a healthy life, but I imagine now living with a kidney transplant, you know that's adjusted your life. Tell us how you continue to train and live through this.
Well, I mean, I have to take medications all the time, like, and for my kidneys because I have to take immunosuppressant meds. And so with COVID, you know, that's not good. You don't want your immune system suppressed with COVID. So like I have been very much in isolation for a lot of the pandemic. But I have to take immune suppressant meds for life. So it's like a cocktail of pills all the time, forever. 8 hour, every 12 hours I have to take it.
Is
And
that so your body doesn't reject the kidney, or
correct, yeah. It's so that it tricks my immune system into thinking that the kidney is mine. And so it's suppressing. So my autoimmune disease is my immune system attacked and killed my native kidneys is what happened. And so they're suppressing my immune system so that it can be like, oh well, this kidney that's not mine is actually mine. You know, this isn't a foreign object in my body, and so we don't need to kill it. Yeah. Um, and so, but yeah, like it's I mean, it had been like it's a lot. It's just hard to live. Like it's hard to because you can't have anything you want. Like I couldn't eat anything raw for a long time, so no sushi, no steaks. That's like rare. I never eat my steaks are rare, but you know, none of that. But you can't have pomegranate. You can't have a certain type of orange. You can't have any grapefruit. Like all these things that
Oh,
you
yeah.
could have. You can't have these things anymore. You know, you just can't. And it's like you have to sacrifice a lot of stuff, you know, and but that's just part of the game. I mean, it's like if you can sacrifice the little things, you can survive, then it's worth it, right? So,
I
but
think
life,
it's also crazy because I think we always sacrifice my diet, my social life, all this stuff for this portion of time in my life. Like it's like I'm only going to be this fit for this
this part of
for
it?
the but you're not only it's like for the rest of your life you have to like live such a regimented lifestyle just so you can stay alive.
yeah, yeah, just to live. And so the top of that on top of training, and so then it gets kind of hectic because you know you have to monitor how much protein you're taking, and I need to have a certain amount of protein because I still need to have muscle, and like it's a tricky game because you get injured because you don't have the protein that you need because you're not getting it, and so it's just rough. It really is. But I don't wish it on nobody because I don't want you guys to go through what I had to go through. It's been a mess, but we still continue to push for it because that's what we do, you know.
Yeah. So as we wrap up here, and we want to end on, I mean,
Positive.
what this is obviously a triumphant story where you, despite your kidney failing, still medaled. You've then gone on to have a kidney transplant. Thank you, Toya. And continue to train. And we talked about, you know, where, I mean, we say final lap because we run around the track, but um, this, we have not seen the last of Aries. Tell
and
us,
and I also want to say I feel like Aries is going to make an amazing coach.
yeah.
I'm not going to tell the world what you told us unless you feel like you want to tell the world. But you've been getting some insight from some of the top coaches in the world,
That's right.
and you want to talk about maybe eventually becoming a coach.
Yeah, so that's the next stage of my career when I do hang up the spikes because I'm gonna potentially try to do it one more time to see if this body can hold up for 2022. We're gonna see. I'm not saying that I will, but if I'm gonna take it one day at a time. Pardon me.
I said, but you're not putting the pressure on yourself to do it. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
that's
have
true.
where we're both in the same boat where it's like,
the door's open, but you're not sure you're going to walk through it. But it's
Yeah.
not closed.
it's not close.
Right. So we're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna take it one day at a time. But aside from that, I'm getting my coaching credentials together so that I can be a coach when I am done because that is something I'm passionate about. It's something I love. And like, yes, I coach everything from the sprints, hurdles, and jumps. Just so y'all know.
Aries knows too.
The way you was giving us the 400 breakdown, like you've definitely shown your range. You're not just a student of the hurdles, but
Where you
truly
getting these
of the
workouts?
sport.
Where you getting these workouts from? Is what I want to know.
I'm not letting y'all know that. That's some secrets. You know, those are trade secrets, and I can't disclose any information. But I will say that I've had the pleasure of working with key coaches like Bobby Kersey's, the John Smiths, the Pat Henrys, if you will. So that's all I'm going to say about that. The Vince Anderson,
Oh, I really love Vince Anderson.
yeah. I've had my fair share of being able to see a lot of great coaches do a lot of great things with a lot of great athletes, you guys included. So I mean, I've been there for it all. I've seen many a world record. I've seen many people go through ups and downs. We've seen it all. We've been in this sport forever. So I mean, this is 18 years in the sport as a pro. So yeah, kind of long. Yeah.
I think it's like Aries, maybe Allison.
Allison is the longest running, and then
Yeah.
we're 2 years behind.
And like before that, I feel like because
I'm
still
1 year behind.
I still believe that Kim Collins is is a vampire. He might have the longest.
He might come back actually.
Like Kim Collins is like 40 something, and he been running like I don't see how it's possible. It's hard out here in these streets for a 35 plus. 35 plus is hard, so people don't understand. Tasha, let them know it's hard out here.
It's hard. It's tough. But you know, we do it and we make it look easy. Aries, here at Track Girl Summer, we are not only a fan of the sport, but we are a fan of the people. And
I'm such a big fan of Aries Merritt.
Thank you so much for taking the time. For those of you that don't know, Aries is in Arizona, so he woke up extra early to come in and chat with us and give us these gems for these predictions as well as his story. So Aries, we want to give you your flowers now and thank you.
No, I appreciate it.
Spending the time with us this morning. We look forward to seeing you back out on the track next season, and as you transition into the next phase of life, which is coaching, future. Obviously, you have a bright future.
He's so detail oriented.
Yes.
Yeah, send me y'all athletes, send me your babies, because I'm gonna have them ready.
I'm gonna get pregnant at some point. There's a few steps that I have to go through to get pregnant, but like
Liam already has like his toes up and like he's so he might be. I think he's a sprinter. He's got great reaction time, so I might.
Okay, all right.
I just feel like you, Jenny, Allison, Dawn, they all have their babies, and I'm like, maybe I should just have one just to get one on the relay team.
On the relay squad. I need some more boys though.
Well, I want to have boys.
Okay. All right, Aries. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you soon.
And come back tomorrow, guys, for my gender reveal. Thank you guys so much.
You're mad. I can't deal.
Aries, we're gonna keep you on for our outro. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Be sure to follow us everywhere: Twitter, IG, Facebook. Follow Jeremy Warner. Follow Aries. Drop your handle so people know. It's
AM Hurdlestar on Instagram. Same thing on Twitter. We rarely use Twitter, so Instagram. It is what it is.
There are like some Aries merch I can buy. Can the people support you?
Merch? I don't have merch yet, but soon I'm gonna have some merch. I'm trying to get on my Natasha game and get some merch out there.
Well, when you have it, send it this way. We're gonna promote it on the show. Follow Track Girl Summer, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. And if you guys are trying to have a watch party with us, we're going to be with Inside Track Watch Party Friday at 9:15 Eastern. You want to get these times right? I asked you or 8:15 Eastern.
No. Yes.
8:15 Eastern. On Friday, we'll be watching the men and women's 4x1, and then again on Saturday, 8:15 Eastern. Friday and Saturday morning, we'll be watching the relays, men and women's 4x1 and 4x4. We'll get you more information on our social medias, and you can see our live reactions. But come back tomorrow, same place, same time, so you can see if Team Natasha and Jeremy are right. But we already know that me and Aries got this in the bag with times with that 400. And
period.
And remember, no matter what time of the year it is, it's always Track Girl Summer, baby. Thank you guys for joining us.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you, Rookies.